Oh, I'm Mike. I'm an alcoholic. Never talked to a machine before. First time I ever spoke in public was an Alcoholics Anonymous meeting. I was on a commitment in Peabody, Massachusetts. It lasted about 4.5 seconds, and I don't know, 7 minutes I can do it in 7 minutes now. It's amazing. I grew up in a city called Willman, Massachusetts. It's a little bit north of Boston, and I was the youngest of 8 children, and I came from a family that was really no booze in the house. My mother died when she was 96, and I seen her drink 1 beer in my lifetime. I picked up my first drink. I thought I was a 5. I might have been 8. I'm not too sure yet. And it was like magic. It was everything that I was ever looking for in life, because I never felt like I fit in anywhere, any place, or any time. I figured I was either born 10 years too early or 10 years too late. And booze just gave me something that I never had. My life was always full of fear. I was afraid of... My mother used to tell me I was afraid of my own shadow, and I couldn't argue with her because I was. And I drank for a long time. I never got in any real trouble. I never ended up with WI. I never spent any time in jail. I was really good at getting my butt kicked, so I gave up fighting really young. I hurt people's knuckles too much, but the booze, gave me an opportunity to live, because before I found a drink, I didn't think I belonged in this world, and suicide sounded like a good idea. And booze took that away from me for a long time, but it never took away the full fear of everything, but I was able to function in the world. I drank for effect and effect only. I didn't drink to socialize. I can remember times when I wasn't drinking and people would tell me I was drunk, because I was basically drunk all the time. I drank every opportunity I could, as much as I could. Booze was easy for me to get when I was growing up, because there was a package store down the street from where I grew up with a broken window with a piece of plywood behind it. I used to slide the plywood back, grab a couple of bottles of wine, and then slide the plywood back. And that worked for a real long time until some jerk forgot to slide the plywood back. And I fixed the window. About 3 or 4 months ago, I realized I could have been that jerk. And here I am blaming somebody for a long, long time. I got to speed up real quick. I drank for about 30 years or so. I got introduced to Alcoholics Anonymous for the first time in December of 1985. I had a jackpot. I knew someone in AA. So I went to a few meetings. I stuck around for about a month. And then I had this ingenious idea that I could have a beer before I went to bed. Every time I think I get myself in trouble. So I had a beer before I went to bed, and I went right back. I went to bed that night, and the next thing I know, it was June of 1994. I have things I can remember between them. And I can remember one time I was having a beer at my kitchen table on a Saturday morning, and 2 years later I was playing golf in Maine. And the only thing that was unusual about that is that I was playing golf, because I don't play golf. What I was doing on a golf course to this day, I have no idea. I'm sure it wasn't a continuous 2-year blackout, but there's not much I can remember about that. I ended up getting married twice, having 6 children, 3 with each wife. And when I came back into Alcoholics Anonymous in 1994, July 27th was my sobriety date. I couldn't find my butt with both hands. I had no desire to stop drinking. But I had absolutely no place else to go. There was just me and 2 kids, and the only reason they were hanging around with me is because they had no place else to go. Nobody wanted to have anything to do with me. And I came to Alcoholics Anonymous, and they told me to keep coming. It's the only place anybody ever wanted me to keep coming anymore. So I did. And my head started to clear up, and they told me to get active. So I got active in Alcoholics Anonymous, and that saved my butt. And like I said, 7 minutes is tough. But, since I showed up in Alcoholics Anonymous, I have not had to say, oh, darn, I did it again. I stayed sober last night. You know, it's something I've never, ever had to say. You know, and back where I come from, the sweet gentlemen back in Massachusetts, they were really kind. You know, it was dummy, get in the car and yap, but I was dummy. And I was the one driving the car. I seen get in the car a couple of years ago. First time, I moved up here 19 years ago. Like, first time in 17 years I've seen him. And I'd go back to it. I don't know where Yappa is, but it doesn't matter. He told me that if I come to Alcoholics Anonymous and don't drink in between and get familiar with the steps, that I would never have to get sober again. And you know something? I believe that they're right. You know? But there was this old-timer. He got sober like 2 months after I was born. I think it was like May 1956. And he used to say, you know, if you're a drunk like me and you go home tonight and you put your head in a pillow and you didn't have a drink today, you're a howling success. I don't know about anybody else, but I've never been a howling success at anything in my life. If that's all I have to do, how much more simple can it get than that? You know, Alcoholics Anonymous is designed to take the pressure off of the drunk, and it took the pressure off of this one. It gave me a freedom that I never, ever expected to ever have. It gave me the ability to live in my own skin. Thanks.